Good to be here. Got in last night. Looking forward to a good practice. Very appreciative to the Detroit Lions, the Ford family, Brad, Dan Campbell, who I have a good relationship with. Looking forward to having a good competitive couple days here. Excited to be here. And with that, I'll open up to questions.
How much do you think these 2 days will help you get an assessment of where your team stands?
Well, I think it's kind of the next step for training camp when you practice against another team. I think there's competitive juices. The coaches have it, the players have it. But we're going to try to practice the right way against a really good team. I think the program that the Lions have and what Dan and Brad have been able to do has really been outstanding. So it'll be a good test for us.
You said the right way. What does that exactly mean, and why sometimes do these joint practices not go the right way?
Well, you have a bunch of competitive people that are hitting each other every day. So, but we're going to try to take care of one another, keep people off the ground, stay away from the quarterback. Just practice the right way, like you're practicing against your team. But again, the competitive juices flow. But do a good job of respecting them, and look forward to that in return.
Is there anything you can learn about your rookies and young and experienced players here in this setting that you can't maybe in?
Sure, I think it's just there's more competitive juices flowing when you're, at another place against different people with a different scheme. That's the next step for them, and I know they're excited about it.
Dan mentioned getting a lot of defensive looks thrown at him. Is there anything that you're particularly excited to look?
Yeah, I'd say everything. I love practicing against another team during training camp. Again, it's different looks, it's different matchups. It's very competitive 2 days of practice that I'm looking forward to.
Dave, as competitive as you are, how much do you adjust to what you're seeing in practice, or do you stick to kind of your script as to what?
Yeah, you're really trying. You're still in training camp mode, so you're trying to develop as a team. You're not really scouting in terms of getting ready to go to practice. You're running your plays, maybe trying a couple different things, but seeing how the players react in a competitive situation, I think is important. Nacho's, he won't go today.
Anybody else won't go?
Not Evan's still in protocol.
Just those two?
Yep.
What about like Aishan and Marcus?
They're going to kind of ramp up. They won't be doing any team stuff, but we're going to get them into individual and some of the stuff that we do, so get those guys ramped up.
You and Dan Campbell have known each other for years. What's your respect level been like for him, and how early did you know he had the ability to be a head coach?
Sure. I have a tremendous amount of respect for Dan as a coach, but as a person, him and his family, he's an outstanding guy. He's got high energy. We worked back together in 2011. I think it's well documented, his interview, and the players, I think, have a lot of respect for him. He's a high energy, just a really good coach, a good guy that have a lot of respect for.
Brian, Campbell Thibodeau here in his second camp now, second year going, and what are you expecting to see out of him that you'd like to see as that next step?
Yeah, just get better day by day. He's had a good camp. This will be good competition for him. Detroit's got an outstanding offensive line, and just take it day by day and improve at his craft.
When you have your guys, some of your younger guys are even going up against some of your premier players on this team. I'm thinking of when Schmitz goes against Dex, or anybody who goes up against Andrew. When you get into a setting like this, is it almost like, we saw them against our guys? It's even more interesting to see them against other guys who might not be at that level.
Yeah, I think it's just the next step of our process of, this is why we planned on doing it, to get good work and to evaluate them against different players. And, there's a lot of players out here competing for opportunity and for job, and, we'll be evaluating all of them.
Do you like the fact that this is against a team that seems to be on the rise? I mean, they're quick to win the division. So it's a test in that way, too.
Yeah, look, this is an outstanding football team that I think have done a really good job the past few years they've been here. They've had a lot of great pieces. I think their draft classes, the players that they drafted, we did a lot of work on them, and I'll be interested to see those guys. They're all smart, tough, dependable guys that were really good football players, dynamic. Gibbs is an unbelievable player, and Campbell and Branch and Laporta. I mean, they did a really good job and got a lot of respect for how they're doing their things.
Is there anything that some of these players can do in the next 2 days that will affect the way you use them on Friday? If you've seen enough, you don't need to see as much, that kind of thing?
I'd say I'm worried about today, and we'll revisit that in the next couple days.
Brian, last year when you did the joints with the Jets, you ended up picking Jason and Lawrence off of their roster. I mean, is there an added bonus here as well that you can potentially scout guys that could be a part of this?
Yeah, absolutely. You get a look at a whole nother roster. So I know our scouting department will be here and be evaluating the players, not just our players how they do, but also Detroit's players. And I think it's it works well for us.
How's today going to be structured? Is it going to look like a typical practice you guys have?
Yeah, it'll be on the two fields. We'll start out on our field, and they'll be on their field, and then the defense will travel to their offensive field. Their defense will come over to our offensive field, and it'll be pretty similar to what you're used to seeing, at our practices. We worked well together in terms of coming up with a structure that we think will serve well for both teams.
I've seen some joint practices that have ones versus twos, that kind of thing, when it's the opposing team. Do you believe in kind of going ones on ones, or?
Yeah, no, you'll see that. Yep, you'll see that.
So did you and Campbell have lots of discussions about how you wanted to do it today?
Yeah, you talk about that in the spring a little bit once you're find out your plan in the preseason and what we want to do, and then sports science gets involved, and my assistant and his assistant. There's a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes of trying to get as productive 2 days as we can.